Okay. Explaining Ateez lore in less than 6 minutes. Class is in session, let's do this. The universe is split into many dimensions, but there are only two we care about, A and Z. Universe A is our universe, where Ateez are trying their best to be idols. Real life just keeps getting in the way of their dreams, until eventually Hongjung finds himself alone in their studio. But one day, Hongjung receives a visitor. It's himself standing there, but this version of him is serving, in a full black fit and a fedora. He's also holding an hourglass. The other Hongjung explains that the hourglass is called the Chromer, and it's the key that connects their worlds, and then he's gone. But the Chromer is still there. The next time Ateez are all together, Hongjung turns the hourglass, the Chromer, and in a flash of light, Ateez are suddenly not in Kansas anymore. They've dimension hopped into Universe Z, to the dystopian city of Strickland. Here, emotions and creativity are banned, and the city is run by a mysterious dictator known only as Z. All of the citizens are mind-controlled by Z to suppress their emotions and make them nothing more than cogs in the capitalist machine. Ateez learn that there is a rebellion group, the Black Pirates, people who have broken out of the mind control and fight back against the Strickland government, led by 8 men in fun hats. That's right, we know them as Ateez, but they're actually the figureheads of a dystopian rebel group, which is really sick. Anyway, Ateez go to the local high-security prison to try and free Ateez, but it's no use. Ateez recognize that escape is impossible, so they pull a Barbie princess in the popper and swap clothes with Ateez so that Ateez can now lead the revolution. And they do. Quite a bit of time passes, and Ateez use flash mobs, concerts, and very polite political protests to break people free of the government's mind control. One of their main targets is Prestige Academy, where the next generation of government officials and oppressors are being created. They host their own Coachella in the quad, and the students are all freed, and the school gets thrown into chaos exactly as planned. Eventually, Ateez have a showdown with the dictator Z himself. Z gets his grubby little hands on the Chromer and tries to use it to escape, but winds up throwing it to the ground. Ateez make a high Q dive for it, but it shatters against the asphalt, and they're sent right back to Universe A. With the Chromer broken, there's no way to get back to Universe Z. Luckily, we learned that the revolution was successful, and Z was shot by a side character as soon as Ateez vanished. The main antagonist of the storyline for about 7 albums was taken down off-screen. Fun. Anyway, Ateez are back in the real world and have relearned how valuable art can be, so they really do try to be idols this time. But they don't have any money. They need jobs, which means they don't have time for dancing and singing. They have to work. Gotta make that money make purse. It takes a chunk out of my limited video time, but I need to list their canon jobs because they're all so funny. Hongjung writes about their dystopian adventures and becomes a famous novelist. Jungho is a music producer for the shittiest K-pop boy groups on Earth. San runs a food truck. Yuno is an archaeologist searching for more magic artifacts. Yosung is a finance bro and is richer than all the other members put together. Mingi is an extremely famous model. Seonghwa is a firefighter, and yes, he poses for their yearly thirst calendar. And Uyong is the social anxiety final boss by rapping safety instructions as a flight attendant. Ateez have grown distant over the course of 3 or 4 years, but they find time to meet at Yosung's rich, cool, awesome villa. They drink together and reminisce about their time in Universe Z, talking about how strange it is to live normal lives again. And at some point, during a tour of the villa, it's revealed that Yosung still has the broken Chromer, and this entire time has also held on to another weird artifact from Strickland. He's just had it, and it wasn't mentioned at all until this very moment. Holy retcon. Whatever. The artifact is called Sopro, which is Portuguese for breath or gust of air, and it's a magic cube created to synchronize people's emotions. Later that night, when Uyong suggests trying to be idols again and gets largely shut down by the other members, he sneaks back to the villa and steals Sopro. Uyong makes a prayer for their passions to be reignited and for them all to be happy together again. Sopro glows red and scoots into Uyong's mouth, and he's like, oh cool, that bodes well, probably. The next day is an absolute mess. Except for Uyong, everyone in the entire city breaks into manic, uncontrollable laughter, including Hongjung, Seonghwa, and San. It takes Uyong reciting one of Z's weird dictator mantras to wake the members up, at which point they go around the city and collect the other 4 members like Pokemon. During this, Sopra flies out of Uyong's mouth, goes into San's, and then vanishes. The citizens around them go from laughing to crying to embarrassed to ashamed, and Ateez try to figure out what the fuck is going on. Back in Universe Z, when they picked up Sopro, it was told to them that Sopro synced emotions from the one who currently had possession of it, but they're starting to think that Sopro is actually learning different emotions with every person he enters. So Sopro is sentient and growing and learning and is probably going to be an issue. So they go hunt Sopro down. It's revealed that Yuno has what they call a spirit scanner because he's an archaeologist, because apparently archaeologists are also ghost hunters. But this spirit scanner can tell them if Sopro is possessing someone. Ateez finds Sopro inside this random lady and force it out, and Uyong steps on it, but Sopro vanishes into the ground and is on the loose once again. It doesn't take them long for them to learn where Sopro is, though. Yosung finds a live stream of... Hold on. Hold on. I'm just going to read this straight from the source because I don't even know how to summarize this shit. Quote, Yosung turned his tablet to the members. On the screen was a live clip of a video creator searching for true ghost stories. He talked while walking through a graveyard. A statue that didn't exist until yesterday suddenly appeared overnight, and monsters were rising from the ground. The bust statue, made of corpse, bone, soil, and grass, had grown into a human shape. With a shriek, its eyes shot open. It looked enraged. People watching the live video called it the resurrection of Frankenstein. Not long after, a war broke out over there. End quote. I don't know, man. But that's it. You're up to date. Mitch, you say, is this all canon? Where did you get this information? And I say, yes, it's all canon. Everything in this video was pulled directly from the lore diaries that Ateez release with every album, starting all the way back in the Fever series. The diaries are about 115 pages total, and you can't imagine how many details I left out in this video just to keep it under 20 minutes. Mitch, you say, what about the Treasure albums? And I say, Treasure doesn't have any written diaries, so very, very little lore from those albums are canon. As a result, the theories are way more fun, but they're also still theories, and everyone's opinions on the lore differs wildly, so I'm not including Treasure in this video. Mitch, you say, where did you go? And I say, the Ateez lore hyperfixation left my body like Sopro left Uyong's, and honestly, I didn't think I'd ever come back to make another video, but life is funny like that. And here I am. I don't know how much content I'm actually going to make this time around, but it felt like an updated lore video was overdue. If you want to keep up to date on the lore though, there's a link to our Loretini Discord in my bio, which contains the master doc and a bunch of cool theories and resources from other Atiny. As always, give me questions or theories in the comments, or hit me up on the Discord. Smash that like button. Class dismissed.